Konnichiwa! Hey, it's Alexandria, and I am going to talk today about my expectations of Japan versus the reality of living here. When I first came here, I thought I was going to travel all around Japan and see everything. And I thought I was going to book every tourism job on the planet and travel for free. That wasn't the case. I did book a lot of jobs that allowed me to travel around Japan, and I'm very blessed because I've been able to see a lot of it. I don't actually own a regular size bag. Ooh, this is a fun escalator. These escalators that goes flat. There was the Go-To campaign, and it was basically like discounted travel for anyone willing to travel during the peak of the pandemic. So my friends and I took full advantage of that. Also, there were no lines, there were no crowds. It was really nice. And now that the pandemic is coming towards an end, there's actually quite a lot of people that live here in Tokyo. Like Shibuya is getting quite packed, and the trains are getting quite packed, and everyone's telling me that there's way more people. It used to be super crowded, and it's going to be coming soon. And I'm from a small town, so I'm not used to this many people. It's a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. I thought everything was going to be Tokyo Drift and Harajuku Girls, karaoke. I thought I was going to work every single day. I didn't think I was gonna have to go to so many auditions. Today I went for an audition as well. I also didn't think I was gonna get into voiceover work and like voiceover as much as I do. So I'm really happy that voiceover turned out to be one of my biggest passions and my bread and butter. I would say actually the majority of my work right now is voiceover. So if anyone needs a seiyuu, give your girl a shout. Japan isn't all monkeys and rice fields, shrines and funky old towns. It may not be all of those things all the time, but connecting with the locals has been such an incredible blessing. I went to Naraijuku with one of my friends, Yuka, and she's Japanese, so she was able to translate for me because at the time I was not able to speak very much Japanese at all. But we met this grandmother, and she's very sweet. Her husband was an artist, and he created this art and supported his family. Once he passed away, his wife continues to sell his art. He continues to support his family, and she continues to spread his legacy.
ありがとうございました。どうもありがとうございます。
Japanese food is incredible. And I have been blessed to make some really great friends here. But Japan isn't all travels and fun and games and monkeys and nature. It's a big city. I live in the largest metropolitan in the world. There's a lot of people. It gets crowded. And although there are so many people we are surrounded by, it can feel incredibly lonely sometimes, especially when you go to restaurants and eat alone. And then you look around and see other people eating alone, and they're just staring at their phone. I accidentally ordered from the Japanese menu. Now that I see what I ordered in English is tofu with simmered giblets. What is a giblet? some sort of body part. Lots of us eating alone. I accidentally ordered some weird food, which has happened so many times. Although it is expensive here, it's not as expensive as back home. Although I miss my family, Japan is the easiest, toughest place to live. Tokyo is the most convenient and most inconvenient city in the world if you're a foreigner. A lot of people would use the gaijin card when there was foreigners coming in and out, and since COVID, there hasn't been any new foreigners coming in and out, so it's been really nice to see everyone living here who understands the Japanese culture. But now I've noticed that there's foreigners coming in that they don't understand the culture. They are loud on the trains and they are a little bit overwhelming. I'm just so shocked because I don't know how I'm going to move back to Canada now, because I'm so accustomed to the Japanese way of life. And now, like, eventually I'm going to go back to Canada and I am going to have a reverse culture shock. I feel like now that there's foreigners coming into Japan, I can literally see them on the street. I can see foreigners and I'm like, you're a foreigner that's not from here. Not that I'm from here, but I've been here for not even that long. I've only been here for 2 years, but it has changed me so much. But I can see from how somebody walks and looks around that they are super foreign. And I was like, hey, you just got off the plane. Welcome to Japan. Let me show you around. I love it. But also I'm like, hey, I want to show you some of the tips and tricks about living here. How about let's do this? Can you drop in the comments any questions that you have about what you need to know before moving to Japan? And I'm going to make a video on that next, because I feel like there's just so many little rules and quirks that people need to know when they are moving here. And now that students and business visa holders can come in, we need to teach them so people don't get upset. I feel like the locals are actually quite happy because we have assimilated to the culture, and it would be really nice to preserve what's happened here, as well as, you know, mesh the two cultures. That would be great too. But the Japanese way of life has its pros and cons, but I think the pros outweigh the cons. So basically what I expected was Japan to be this Harajuku, salaryman, strange food kind of place, which it is. It can be. I didn't realize how much I would learn about myself through learning about this culture and truly diving in, experiencing the locals, and going to the small towns. The best places in Japan are not the big cities. It's getting out into the inaka, into the countryside, and connecting with the locals. Most places are like that. Most people always go to the large cities like Tokyo and Osaka, or they'll go to like Okinawa and stay in a resort. When you really travel here, you'll end up off the beaten path, and that's where you'll make the best memories. So if you do plan to travel to Japan, I definitely recommend looking up some of the customs and try to learn a few Japanese expressions, because it'll go a long way. But definitely get out of the city, because that is where the heart of Japan is. All in all, I would say that Japan has far exceeded my expectations. It has been tough at times, but this is the greatest country I could have ever gotten stuck in. And I am so blessed to be here. And I have to keep reminding myself, sometimes it is tough, but I am truly blessed to be living in Tokyo, Japan. I think we need to count our blessings every day. And your home, my home is Canada, or is it Japan? I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to stay here, but I'm just going to be grateful for every day that I do have here. I truly am blessed to be here in Japan, And if you get the opportunity to come travel here, let me know. Once these borders open up, I would love to take tourists on private tours and show them the heart of Tokyo. Eat some weird food and translate and just have a good time with people and explore and see the excitement in people's eyes when they see how incredible it is to be here. If you are planning to come, let me know and I will teach you some of the customs about living here, okay? じゃあ、またね。またすぐね。